I want to talk about the idea of storytelling. So, Cats Cove Communications, we are a communications company, obviously. And one of the things that we want to help you, the small business owner, with is telling your story better. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use rules from Pixar. Everyone's familiar with the movie studio, Pixar, the production company Pixar, right? They create a lot of our favorites. And Pixar's become really well known for creating beautiful, beautiful stories and telling beautiful, beautiful stories. And they actually have a 22 rules of storytelling that they have to use. A lot of them it's a fascinating thing to look at and to read. A lot of them are really applicable to those of us that are small businesses and looking to find out or figure out how we can better tell our story through social media, online, through our websites and things like that. So right here I want to go through, I know I said there were 22, I've kind of pulled 7 ideas out that I want to talk about. The first one is pretty simple, and it's the idea that stories are actually universal, and good stories are universal. So what does that mean? It means it has to be something that you can relate to. It has to be a concept that you were able to relate to. So when you are telling your story on social media, when you're writing your blog, when you're explaining to somebody what it is you do, you have to find a way to make that idea both universal and relatable. You've got to find a way to make sure that the person, the audience, understands what you're saying. One of the easiest ways to make sure that they understand what you're saying is make sure you have clear purpose and structure. Oftentimes with social, and we all fall into this trap where we're not sure what to post, we're just going to put something up. But structure is one thing. There's lots of ways to template information. There's lots of ways to create posts that are relatively simple. But purpose is where we often fall apart. Posting for the sake of posting isn't really valuable. Posting for the sake of posting, yes, it gets something out there, but you don't have a clear purpose. So before you post or before you create your social media calendar or anything that way, I want you to think about what's the point here? What's the purpose here? What value am I providing to my audience in this moment? What do I hope to accomplish from this post? Storytelling and the best storytelling. So if you think of your best movie that you can think of, your favorite television show, whether it be Pixar or anything, gives you someone to root for. Why is this important when we're talking about social media and small business? Because you, that business owner, are that person to root for. You are the person that we want to see succeed. If you only post your products and your items and your services and things like that, and you don't give me someone to root for, I can't connect with you. And if I can't connect with you and I can't root for you, I lose interest in your story, okay? So I need all of us as business owners to do a better job putting ourselves out there. It doesn't have to be through video. It doesn't have to be anything super complicated. But when you're telling your story, it's your story. Give me someone to root for. You can make that really easy for me to root for you if you do number 4, which is create an emotional appeal. I'm not saying it has to be buy my stuff, I'm going out of business, buy my stuff so I can buy my kids' birthday gifts, anything that way. But emotional appeal is about vulnerability. And vulnerability is about being honest, right? So the emotional appeal, again, just has to be you being honest about what's going on in your life. Whether it's your restaurant, your retail, your service-based business, whatever it is, the emotional appeal, again, it's just about building connection here, right? I can root for you once I understand what the appeal is and where you're at emotionally. Surprise me. Surprise me, okay? Number 5 is a really big element of all storytelling is it actually needs to be surprising, right? We no longer want to see the stories and read the stories, the traditional fairy tale, right? So there's a damsel in distress and the handsome prince arrives, kisses her on the forehead, everything is done, and our story's over, and we're bored, right? We can't do it the way we've seen it done 1,000 times and expect our audience to react the way we did when it was new. That was a fascinating story once upon a time, but I need you to surprise me. I need you to change how you're going to do it just a little bit, okay? It can be different ideas. It can be different videos. Earlier I said, it doesn't have to be through video. But you know what would be really surprising? If you're not a dancer and you did a TikTok dance, you're gonna get my attention, right? I'm gonna see it right away. Surprising just means don't use the same template as your competitor, as all the other businesses. When it's National Donut Day, find a really, really creative way. If you're gonna make it National Donut Day on your page, you better find a really creative way to surprise me, because everybody else that posted about National Donut Day, that's boring stuff, right? Keep it simple and keep it focused. We do so many things in our lives as business owners. We have so many things going on. Many of us, again, if it's restaurants, if it's retail, we've got all these different elements that frankly we want the audience to buy, right? But if we try and put all of that into one post, if we try and put all of that into one message, we are not able to be simple and focused. And if you're not simple and focused, guess what? You've lost me. I don't have the attention span that I used to, right? Our attention spans are trash thanks to our cell phones and things like that right now. And as a result, if it's not simple and focused, I'm not gonna pay attention. The last one is super important, okay? Number 7 that I've got written down here is perhaps the most important one. And really what it does is it summarizes my first 6. And it summarizes the way I want you to think about all of your storytelling. Keep your audience in mind. Too many times we post and we push what we want to sell, right? We create our social media, we create our marketing around what we want you to buy, right? We never think about what the audience might want from us. I shouldn't say never. We rarely think about the audience the way that we should. What we should be doing when we keep our audience in mind is we should be thinking about what's it like to be in their shoes? What situation are they in right now? How are they consuming my content? All of these things, right, are about keeping my audience in mind. And if I keep my audience in mind and I can think about the questions that they want answered, that the problem that I'm going to solve for them, I have a much better chance at having a successful social media strategy.